Hello and welcome back to the EMJ PGA Podcast. This is episode 5 for the first time on a Thursday coming to you. This podcast will be. We wanted to split it up a little bit this week and we will be doing this going forward. So making sure that you get a dose of podcast content throughout the week and you can split it up into more bite-sized chunks and enjoy it, hopefully. Thank you to everybody who's been listening and contributing and putting in your responses to the questions that we've put out there so far in the first few weeks. It's been really appreciated. We're going to come back to some of those today. We've got some good ones today, which I'm really keen to get through. I'm keen to get the person sat to my right on the screen, if you're watching this on YouTube. Ben Hartshorn, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. For having me on again. I'm looking forward to this episode. I've got some good things to say. Got some good content to get through. So yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. Decent week for you last week. Did you catch up with some of the stuff that was going on? We had the Super Bowl just gone. Do you manage to watch any of that?
No, not a thing of it. I forgot it was on, and I saw that the Seahawks Hawk Tours won, which didn't change my life in the slightest. And the cringe bowl is over, thankfully. So yeah.
No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that one bit. I thought it was a decent Super Bowl. I'm repping the American football merch for that reason today. And yeah, that was a decent one. As I said, I spent the second half of the game being violently sick, which was interesting to say the least. And then my energy drink, because obviously I couldn't get anything down me. My energy drink was just sat there to keep me awake. So honestly, I thought this is like almost like someone's torturing me to watch this at this point. But I thought, do you know what? In years to come, I've watched the last few and I've stayed up and I thought, do you know what? Just my own pride got in the way and I watched it. Bad Bunny's halftime show. Have you ever heard of Bad Bunny?
No.
No. Bad Bunny, interesting. He's like the most streamed or like the most. I think Taylor Swift might be, but like you wouldn't have heard of Bad Bunny necessarily. You wouldn't have heard. I've heard bits of his music. It's like the most streamed or most listened to artist in the world. It's like some of these like demographics. It's like the same with like movies and like India and the Bollywood sort of scene. Like everyone goes, oh my God, these are the most followed stars in the world. I've never heard of them. It's the same with Bad Bunny, and fair play to him. You know, these people come out of nowhere and have like millions of fans. But did maybe want to speak Spanish for a few moments there. Have you ever dabbled in much Spanish speaking activity, Ben?
No, but Spanish probably the most holiday place I've ever been to. But I probably my dog speaks better Spanish than me. So
Yeah, probably. And English.
yeah, yeah.
But no, I thought it was decent. I thought it was decent. A decent halftime show, bringing the vibes, and yeah, that definitely kept me going for a little bit last night. I hope you all enjoyed it if you were up watching the game. But we're not here to speak about American football, although I gladly would do. We're here to speak about golf, and we're here to speak about golf twice a week, as I said now. The first podcast of the week, which hopefully you've all listened to, was a review of all the elite level golf, PGA Tour, DP World Tour, Live Golf, and a preview of the biggest event coming up in the week. So we've covered that. Now it's time to have a bit of fun. Okay, now it's time to do a bit of fantasy draft-like sort of games. You guys can get to know sort of our thoughts on the game, golf in general, things that we like, things that we don't like, golf courses that we like, golf courses that we don't like. So we put forward, like we did last week, we did an 8 versus 8 world golf draft. Okay, and we enjoyed doing it. Let's be honest. So we want to do another one. So we put forward another question. Okay, and this week's question is: if you can build a 9-hole golf course made up of any holes in the world of golf, one could be in Florida, the other one could be in Scotland, the other one could be in the Costa del Sol. You can make it up of whatever holes you want to. Build the best 9-hole track you possibly can. I think this is going to be a good little one, and it'll be draft format. So if Ben picks one, I can't take that one, and vice versa. Ben, how are you feeling about this little challenge we've got coming up?
Sorry. Yeah, very excited. I've got a name for my course. I've thought hard into it where my picks are going to look at. Obviously, last week my picks were they were sort of down the same road, and I sort of grouped my effort together into a certain type of golfer. Where this week I've got a wide range of courses. Hard to think of courses. You're sort of trying to pick courses you might have played, and then to what you've seen on TV. So you'll see like a very similar range of golf courses in my picks, and probably the same for you maybe. But yeah, excited.
Yeah, yeah, no, I am too. I think the one thing that like I've full transparency, I haven't prepped amazingly for this. So I literally did my prep for this about an hour before we came on and started recording this. So I have only got my ideal 9 holes, and if you take one of mine, I'm going to have to be scrambling around for second picks. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that you haven't picked the same as me, or you won't pick one that's in my 9 holes. I've tried to be kind of niche with it, but you said about holes that you've played. Obviously, you've done a fantastic bit of traveling around on some great golf courses, especially in the last 12 months as well. You get around and onto some nice courses. Do you have any holes, or do you want to pick any holes that you've actually played?
Yeah, yeah. A few, and
Okay,
you'll see
okay.
which ones. But I will explain them. I will explain the couple that hopefully I do pick. But they are. I mean, the ones I pick are famous holes.
No, very
So
good,
yeah,
very good. I actually in my initial 9, I actually don't have any that I've played in
no.
person. So these are very based off when I'm watching people play this hole. How does it look? And yeah, pretty much that. How much would I want to go and play these holes? On top of that, actually, like the layout of the 9 holes, like I want to make it sort of flow, as weird and as probably like wet as that sounds. Like I want there to be like 1 minute we're not in Scotland, and the next minute we're not in America. Like it's got a bit of a flow to it. I hope, because you might go and pick my first pick straight off the bat. But just like I did last week, sporting man that I am, and the host of the podcast, I gave you the first pick, and I'm willing to do it again. Okay, so we're going to get straight into this, building our ideal 9 holes. Who can build the best 9 hole course? Ben, who and where and what are you going to pick for your first hole?
So just quickly, as you've just said, like yeah, trying to shape my 9 holes to sort of the type of hole you want for your nine, for your best 9 holes you can play, and what 9 holes I think everyone in the world should play will be my 9 holes. My 9 holes, my course will be called the TPC Kankarot. Um, and the first hole, and I've picked 27 holes, and I'm gonna pick and choose as I go along, seeing what you pick. But my first hole is a par four. You don't want a hard par four to start your round or any week. So I'm genuinely gonna start with a home of golf, and my first hole is gonna be the first St Andrews.
You're going to take the first at St Andrews.
Yeah.
So yeah, understandable, understandable. An iconic opening hole, maybe the most iconic in the world, so it does make sense as a first pick. Um, we've seen some good golf and some bad golf on that hole. Notoriously, Tiger just dunching it into the burn, round one in 2022. I don't mind that as an opening hole. I just yeah, I just think that it's. I'm looking at my picks there now, and I'm going. Yeah, well, I won't spoil it, but I think that's a good pick. I think it's a solid pick. Now you're gonna laugh probably at my first pick, because I've probably gone a bit. I might have gone more niche than you, but I think you might have gone more niche than me at times. Okay, you've obviously gone par four first hole, scoreable. I'm going with the first hole at Riviera. Okay, the par five, 503 yard, off a really, really elevated tee box, dogleg right, such a scoreable first hole, and I just wanted a mix of scoreable versus challenging in this 9 holes of golf. You don't really know what you're getting next, and I think the first at Riviera is a perfect chance. I always like a golf course that starts with a par five, somewhere I can tee driver up and just pipe it down there, not really care about where it goes, just get my round off and running. I hate sort of, and again, this is relative to, I know your golf club is like this, but a par three on the first just always gives me a bit like, oh, I want to peg driver up off the first and hit it as hard as I can, so I've gone with Riv.
Love that Riviera first hole. I watched Tiger there a couple of years ago when he shot like 5 under. I think you were with me, and he made an eagle there. I think he was playing on his back nine, but actually a class hole up above, sitting above the course. I didn't even think of that hole. So yeah, good shout. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So now we're coming on to the second pick.
second hole, and yeah, I'm looking at my layout of my course already. I'm thinking, interesting. I don't actually like back to back par fours to start, but I'm going to go with it. I really am. So because I'm not used to par fives, so it's unnatural for me to put par fives into my course, but I'm going to have to at some point. But I've gone more niche, and again, racking my brain. I, of cool holes, cool looking holes, and I want to go for a tough second hole. So I've actually gone for the 18th at Oakmont, which is slightly random. It's so like unbelievable looking. I can just picture like Dustin Johnson in his drive down there in like 2016 when he won. Those bunkers pointing out in the middle, tough green. I just think that's a class hole at Oakmont. So yeah, I'm going for the 18th at Oakmont.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So you'll be able to see, hopefully, as long as you don't pick any of mine, like that you've gone for a bit of a different technique because there was so many times where I was building the draft thinking, should I put an 18th in the middle of the nine holes? Like, should I do it? And
Yeah.
I've wanted to not do it, just so it gives the course a little bit of a flow. If I can see the clubhouse in the background on like my second hole of the nine, it might be that it's just returning back in fantasy land and you're just coming back from where you came from a little bit. But I didn't do it. Oakmont, good pick, good pick. Obviously, you got the fourth and the fifth holes there, par four, they're brutes of holes with the Church Pew bunkers as options there, and you've gone for the 18th. That's understandable. Wasn't on my list though, so that's one where we might differ in opinion. I'm going par three next. I'm going par three next, and there's a chance I could take one of yours off the board here now because I wanted to get a par three in and I wanted to get it in early. I'm going for the postage stamp at Royal Troon. I am taking it. We're going on a link swing. Okay, we're going on. Oh, I might have just given away some of my picks now, so you could sabotage me. But I'd like to try and go on a link swing, and I'm taking the second hole, the eighth. So we've got two scoreable, but slightly you can get punished on them holes. Yeah, give me the postage stamp second hole.
I like that. I think Postage Stamp second hole at Troon. I went to have a look at it this year when I went up to Scotland, and it is class. The rest of Troon's are average. I mean, the hole up by the railway, is it the 13th on the back nine is class, but that is an amazing hole, a truly amazing hole. When they're that short and with the bunkers either side, amazing. So that was your second pick. So I'm on to my third. Am I? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So par three, yeah, third par three. You got through a couple of tough, no, easy par four, then a tough par four, and so you could be a level par. You could be one over if you made a par on the first and you go and bogey the 18th at Oakmont. But that's still a decent score. But I'm gonna give you no chance with the next one. I'm gonna keep it difficult. You've taken one of my picks, but I'm not going to go with one of my choices. I'm going to go with the 12th at Augusta. We're going with some. We're going around the world on this one, but I'm going to 12th at Augusta. Tough, amazing par three, maybe the most famous in the world. About 150 yards. What's the wind doing? Water at the front. So many mistakes can happen, but if you hit that green, you are absolutely buzzing, and that's what I'm looking for my players to do around my course.
Okay, okay. So I like your thinking. I like your thinking. I was trying to play a bit of chess and checkers in preparation for this, okay? And I've not done this for this reason. This is genuinely a core belief of mine, okay? So if you are listening to this, feel free to hammer me. I think the 12th's an overrated hole.
Mm, that's interesting.
I
Why?
I think that I think that you don't see drama on there as much as you do on other holes that I might or might not pick. I think that if you just like Jack Nicklaus always says, and how many times do I have to hear this on commentary every April? Like Jack Nicklaus says, just hit it over the middle of the bunker. And nowadays, if you hit it in the back bunker, which people are going to do under pressure, the players are so good nowadays that if they splash it out, obviously the green is rolling back towards the water. So you just splash it out onto the front, and usually the pin is actually the worst way to play that hole is when they put the pin over on the left because you've got less green to work with if you do airmail it into the back bunker. You can obviously go into the flowers at the back, but I just think under pressure, the amount of times that I suppose you did see it with Molinari a little bit. It wasn't on that hole necessarily, but like I remember a couple of years ago, Molinari messed up on that hole, and then obviously you've got Spieth's infamous one from 2015, 2016, excuse me. I just don't feel like you see many players mess up under pressure on that hole, and if someone's really locked in and is going to win, that's not going to be the one that trips them up, in my opinion. To look at, phenomenal hole, the dynamics of it, as you said, with the wind whipping round it. It's cool. I just feel like there's more exciting holes on that golf course, and that's why it is not in my list, believe it or not.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I do. I mean, you're saying I like to see what other par threes across the world have more drama than the 12 over the years. With Tiger winning 2019, with Spieth in 2016, and you might give me you might give me an option. You might give me that option. But yeah, what's your third pick?
Hopefully, but I'm not going to do it right now because I want it for later on.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave my budum ching pick, so to speak. Okay. Third hole on my 9-hole course. I am taking one. Not that, because we don't have many tour events or global events at this golf course, but it's just because of the picture, that how it looks, um, and definitely a golf course that I've just got to tick off and play in the near future. I'm taking the fourth hole at Royal County Down. It's a brute, par four, 486 yards. Um, and yeah, I just wanted a tough golf hole in there that again helps us with the sea, it visible, not in play necessarily, but the sea's visible in there. Um, Really long grassy dunes, sort of almost looking like you're hitting it up a tunnel. Hot bunkers everywhere. I think it's a really good challenge to start or to get a second hole on my Linksy swing. So give me the fourth at RCD.
For RCD, I like that. I haven't got as much RCD in there as I thought because I just haven't seen enough of it. But onto my fourth hole. We are going to look at we're looking at another par four here. Interestingly, and I think I've put a birdie hole to the side of this to think, guys. So we've had we've had two really tough holes, an easyish one to start. Are we going to go back to links golf? No, we're not. We're going to look at a hole that I love, a risk and reward hole. We love these sorts of holes, and a hole that might not many people will know as much about. But the 10th at Riviera it might be 320 at best, but it's a slim green. You have to play a high cut to try and hit it. Not many people hit it. Bunkers either side. It is a risk reward hole. Yeah, you're not going to come away with a load of bogeys, but you're going to make pars, and you're going to be off with a par because it's so short. So yeah, how do you play that hole? Great little hole as my fourth.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think it's a solid pick. Riviera's got some class holes on it, and I think the first and the 10th there, you wouldn't mind starting your 9 holes on either one of those
No,
holes, would you? So
no.
absolutely class coming up in a couple of weeks on the PJ Tour, which will be fantastic to watch. All those holes in action again. Again, not on my list. I've picked a couple of other ones, might be lesser known than that one. So I'm just hoping that that doesn't influence and impact the effect of my 9-hole draft. But anyway, I'm still on my link swing, and I'm bringing my link swing to a conclusion here now. So I have picked a hole that I haven't played, and I'm so gutted I haven't played it because I really want to play it, and I really want to play this golf course. The amount of times that I've been in this town, the amount of times that I have looked at this hole, I haven't seen it in person with my own eyes. I've seen the golf course with my own eyes, but I just really want to go and play this golf course and this hole. I'm taking the 13th at North Berwick, the par four, 400 yards. It's called the Pit. It's got the wall round it. It's got the wall guarding the
Mm.
green. Excuse me. Relatively easy golf hole, but again, you've got to factor in where the wind's coming from. You've got to factor in distance control. You've got to factor in a blind approach shot, really, because the wall sort of covers. You can see the flag, but it covers the green there a little bit. So many little trick shots that you see a lot of the pros going and hitting when they come over and play in Scotland off the wall and being creative and doing that sort of stuff. It's just a fantastic golf hole, and I couldn't leave it out. So yeah, my fourth is the 13th at North Berwick.
I like that. I can't. I can picture the green actually with the wall around. But yeah, class little pick. It's interesting because I actually, I know we'll talk about this after. So my fifth pick, my fifth hole. So we're going to get into par five. Unusual, uncomfortable talking about par fives. Don't know how to play. I'm usually awful in a par five when I actually play. Um, sort of mentally on par fives is a weird thought for me. But I've got some interesting options, but I'm gonna go with the venue this week coming up, and I'm gonna go with the sixth at Pebble Beach, which is quite a short par five, but you've got to hit up a monster hill. And again, obviously, if you guys have looked back when Tiger dominated around there in 2000, he talks a lot about that hole. He hit it in the right rough and monstered a 7 iron. 200 yards or whatever, it might be further up the hill at this monster slope. I think it's a class hole. When there's a little bit change of ground like that, especially on a big venue like that, I think it's very cool. So I'm gonna go with the sixth at Pebble Beach. A par five you can get at, but also one you can get caught by. So yeah, sixth at Pebble.
Good pick. It didn't make my list, but it definitely would have been one of my substitutes of ones that I want. Because that is the hole. I mentioned in Tuesday's podcast, Pebble Beach, the one image of my childhood that I have of getting into golf, and I reposted it today because like I saw or reposted it this week, because I saw the advert for it where Tiger walks out into the water and he's walking on water and hits the shot off the lily pad. Like that was like those were the adverts that you got back in the day for those video games. But all I would do every single time. I actually went to my nan's house. It was my uncle's room. He had a PlayStation 2 in his room, and I would just sit there and play Tiger Woods. I'd load it up and I'd play Pebble Beach, and I'd just be so keen for that sixth hole, hitting it up over that cliff. Like that is one of the best memories of my childhood. So yeah, that was very close to getting on there. But it's not on my list. I'm going to go with the par four next. I'm going to go with a hole that, for political reasons, we haven't seen that much of recently. But I want to see more of it. I want to get it reinstated and see more of it. I am going to no, excuse me. I almost picked one for political reasons. We have seen this hole recently for a good bit. I was going to pick a hole from Doral, Trump Doral, and I didn't do. So I pivoted and I went to the 15th at the PGA National. And you're thinking, why? Well, that is the first hole that starts the bear trap, the infamous bear trap. So obviously you've got the hole there, but for me, how cool the statue is of just a bear trap, knowing that you're in for a grueling few holes. Now, why I picked this is I wanted it to be grueling, but also scoreable. So again, that risk and reward. Only 361 yards to 15th at the PGA National. Dogleg right, water all up the right hand side, really quite tight, inaccessible green. But yeah, classic PGA Tour hole. And yeah, the amount of times that I used to watch Tiger go up there and in contention as a kid, you know, going through that bear trap, seeing if he could get through it without any mistakes, which he never really made any. I had to put the 15th at PGA National in. That was probably the biggest filler hole that I've had in the whole draft. I just wanted a PGA Tour hole like that to go in there. So there you go.
I like that. I can't again. I like your nicheness. I'm going for more mainstream, obviously, because that's probably more represents our knowledge of golf and our experience of golf. So yeah, love that one. I will move on to my sixth pick. We're now looking at. I've now gone. I'm just looking at what I've got left. Gone back to a par three. You can't beat par threes. Good par threes. I've got three options, and I've just been thinking about it again. But I want to put in a hole that I've played. I've had a lot of options of holes that I've played so far, but I'm going to go with the 10th at. It is now Trump Turnberry. It is now Trump Turnberry. The 10th off the black tees, off the championship tees, is about 260. It's a monster hole. I haven't picked it for the yardage, but I've picked it for it is the furthest point on the golf course. You're hitting it to the famous lighthouse, over the bay, over the ocean. You really do. You climb down these steps and you go out onto the rocks, onto this little tee, and you really do try and hit a shot straight over into a big green, and then you're almost on the Trump Turnberry Lighthouse Island, and then the next is the 10th, which I haven't picked, which I nearly picked, is then a par five back around the bay. Amazing hole. When the Open does go back there, which I do believe it will. It will be the hole of the year. It is an amazing hole.
Yeah, I can't help but agree. But we need to get the Open back at Turnberry. The last time it was there, 2009, Stuart Sink winning. I always remember that. You obviously have the Tom Watson running that close.
Yeah.
that year, which was incredible, bearing in mind his history around that golf course. So yeah, Trump Turnberry, we've got to get back there. Just a fantastic name of a golf course. Obviously with all Trump courses, that are fantastically well looked after, an unbelievable experience going up there. I imagine I've never been, so I imagine for you that was a class one. I know
Mm.
it was. So yeah, very very understandable that you've picked that one. Um, I'm slightly done now with my nicheness. Slightly. I've only got one more to go, which is a little bit niche. But we are hopefully, as long as you don't pick one that I want, because I really, really want this one. But I want the one after this, so to speak. But I've only picked one par five so far. What are the best par fives in the world? Par fives with drama, par fives that again, just like we said a minute ago, you want to be on your edge of your seat, wondering, are they going to go for it? Are they not? What does the green look like? Where are the potential pitfalls of going for the green, etc., etc. And for me, there's no better example of a par five that resembles that than the 15th at Augusta. Let's not overcomplicate it. It's a fantastic hole. Obviously, just where everything's placed, everything's perfectly placed. You can airmail it over the back. You can put yourself in trouble that way. If you go over the back just slightly, you've got a devilish chip back over down the hill. It's just incredible, an incredible golf hole. And so yeah, it goes in as my sixth hole on my 9-hole course.
Amazing. I think the 15th might be the best hole, and definitely the best par five in golf. I don't know why I haven't picked it earlier. I very nearly did, but I went for the sixth at Pebble. Seven. So we're now getting into the stretch of our nine. If this was a back nine on a Sunday, this would be the ultimate back nine. I've got another course I've played which I might just go and pick. But I'm not going to, because I do think this is top five golf holes in the world. One of the best holes that we've watched live together. And it is going to get your pulses racing, and it's going to be the 17th to St Andrews. If it doesn't need
I
to be
like
said,
that.
it's a super tough hole, amazing tee shot over the hotel, tiny green. Stuff happens on that hole. You've got obviously the famous road hole bunker, which you don't want to be in. An amazing hole, with the town sort of on the left, and you're about to go and hit the 18th. So yeah, incredible hole, and that's my seventh hole, the 17th to St Andrews.
Yeah, when the sun's setting, which we were lucky to sort of have that when we went up there and watched it. And there's been a couple of times where I've been up there and the sun's setting, and you're walking up the side of that 17th, and you're looking at the town sort of all lighting up in the distance,
Mm.
and you think, bloody hell, this is mega. It was very close. It was very close to being in my 9-hole list, so to speak. So yeah, it didn't quite make it from my initial cut, just because I think it's a little bit. I've picked a couple of tough holes, and towards the stretch, I wanted to make it a fair test of tough and also rewarding as well. For my seventh hole, for my third last hole, I'm keeping it flowing. Okay, we said about entertaining par threes. Now, as I've made that comment, I actually think when you go history versus history, the hole that we spoke about before probably has more drama, entertaining moments on it. But I've made my bed and I'm going to lie in it now, because I actually think this is a better hole to watch, in this specific event. And again, I couldn't not pick it because it is the hole that has, I reckon, my favourite shot ever in golf, and that is, of course, the 16th at Augusta. I mean, we've gone 15, 16 for six and seven. Okay, but yeah, what do I say? Put that pin on the bottom, hit it to the middle of the green, let it roll down, miss it long left. You've obviously got the backstop to come back. Watching balls roll down there, wondering if they're going to go in the hole or not. Again, if you're under pressure, you can be a right melt and bail it out there on the right, and then you're almost certainly got at least a 10, 12 foot of a par, and that's even if you have ridiculously soft hands. It's just a fantastic golf hole. I just love it down the stretch, when, even though it seems pretty routine for them to just hit the middle of the green and they can get it pretty close, the drama of that, where it's rolling down, the crowd making noises, it's rolling, it's just fantastic. And then obviously the hole that pretty much made me want to play golf, or the shot that made me want to play golf, was Tiger off the back of there, in 2005. Just ridiculous. So it had to be in my 9-hole course.
I do think you're right. I do think you're actually right. Maybe it has more drama than the 12. And they weirdly put the pin up on the right, didn't they, last year, where McIlroy hit it close
Yeah,
and didn't hole it. But yeah, amazing hole. Good shout, that one. So 8th. So we're now on the penultimate hole. I'm going to go for a par 3 because I do think 17 par 3 17s are cool. Royal Liverpool has one. I can't actually think of any else off the top of my head, but Royal Liverpool is one of my
Sawgrass.
options. 17. Yeah, that is, and that might be the option. And I think I will go 17 at Sawgrass because it is legendary 17 Sawgrass. It doesn't necessarily have the drama throughout. Again, you can always bring up Tiger moments when you hold it. It was in 2001 in his white Nike. Holding it from the side of the green. I saw
Yeah.
Fat Perez hole one last year when he was playing similar to Tiger, and I thought that was sick. It is a wedge. You can get a lot of nippy on that, getting that to come back. But people do put that in the water. So it is a cool hole. That's one of the holes I'd love to play more than anything. I know it's a very American style hole, but 17 to Sawgrass is a scary hole on with the 18th coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just I think it is one of those where it's obvious, but then it's obvious for a reason. I put it in that
Yeah.
category. I don't think it's one where that's what I took the approach that the 12th was one of those where I thought it's obvious and it might just underwhelm a little bit more. The 17th is Sawgrass. Yeah, that final stretch at Sawgrass, fantastic.
Yes.
What again? The one time, the amount of long putts that you see, as you said, Tiger there. I remember watching Eddie Pepperell, like as a big Eddie Pepperell guy, he drained an unbelievable one across the green. Jonathan Vegas, not long before that, drained a long one across the green in the Players. And then big moments, Ricky Fowler winning the playoff, winning the Players a few years back, hitting it absolutely, just taking a Tiger line onto that sort of tucked away back right pin there. And not knowing where it's going to be. Like you obviously watch the shot tracer, but then you've just got no idea of the distance perception, and just excited to see where it lands. I think that's an exciting hole, and I think that's a very, very good pick, if you ask
Yeah.
me. Um, I'm going to go now for my last probably niche pick, but just because of how this golf course looks, again, it's a bit of a Royal County Down special, the American equivalent a little bit. Um, I am taking the 17th hole at Cypress Point, okay? Because if you don't know much about Cypress Point, it is a proper bucket list golf course on the Californian sea top, on the cliff top, excuse me. Um, just unbelievable sort of scenery, waves crashing against the cliffs, just fantastic. And this whole particular just looks unbelievable. It's a dogleg right, obviously. It's only 386 yards, par four. And yeah, you've obviously got the sea on the right, but then you've got pretty much an island in the middle of the fairway made up of a massive tree. I don't know what type of tree it is, but a massive tree, and then a sort of sandy, rugged bunker looking thing. It's kind of like a half bunker, half not bunker. It's not very well looked after bunker, but it just gives it that sort of rustic look. The 17th at Cyprus, unbelievable hole. And as I said, at 386, you're not actually there going, oh, because this you could pick I think it's the 16th at Cyprus, which is the par three, literally across the cliff. I think it's like 210, that one. I know you've picked a long par three, 10th at
Mhm.
Turnberry, but I don't know. I don't really want to be whacking hybrid into a par three. I don't want to be doing it. So I didn't pick that one. I chose the 17th instead. So there's my eighth hole.
Cypress Point, the rated #1 golf course in the world. Only a few mortals will ever get to play that golf course. So yeah, great pick. I saw what do they have there the other week? They have the US Amateur there. They did last
They
year.
might have done. They might have done.
They had some
Yeah,
because
they might have done. I
there
never
was
actually keep track.
there was live footage from Cypress Point because or did they play the Seniors Open there? They might have. Anyway, so we're on to the 18th, and 18th hard. I have my 18th hole will be a proper 18th hole because it's hard. You can't picture an 18th hole without being the 18th hole. You've got to have the clubhouse. I know one of my holes, I had the 18th at Open one as a clubhouse in the background, but you can have two clubhouses in the background on a shot. Um, different options, really tough. Again, my brain wasn't working as well because I've a very small pool of holes. But you know what? I'm going to go with a tough hole. I'm not going to go for 18 to St Andrews. I'm going to go for a tough hole. I know I haven't got many par fives. I feel like I know which hole you're going to go with, but I'm actually going to go with something a bit different because I like the burns down the middle of it. I like the drama with Van der Velde back in the day. I'm going to go with the 18 to Carnoustie. I do. I think it's a great hole. It is a bit straightforward, but you've got the clubhouse. The final holes at every Open are always so cool because of the clubhouse, because of the way they do the stands and the stadium. But the drama that Carnoustie saw that year with Van der Velde, whatever he did, made a 7, did he? I know Tiger, when he nearly won
Yeah.
in 2018, nearly made a par because he went in the bunker. It's a really tough hole, and I'm going to finish off with Carnoustie, the 18th.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick. I think that the Van der Velde thing definitely carries that, the aura of that, and knowing how badly you can get that wrong.
Yeah,
Very tough hole to finish, and I was going to say it was too tough for me to finish, but I've also picked a relatively tough hole to finish as well. Um, I've picked one of my, again, personal favourites. Again, you said you think you know which one I'm going to pick. It'll be interesting to see if this is the one that you think I was going to pick. But I had to get this golf course in. It's my favourite golf course. Again, I reckon it's definitely my top 5. It might be in my top 3 of what I want to play the most, and I couldn't leave it out. So I'm taking,
can I
like
guess
you, I'm
it?
taking the 18th hole. Yeah, go on.
Harbour Town.
Yes, 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 yes. We're taking Harbour Town. Fantastic hole, fantastic hole. Um, yeah, lots of danger off the tee. You've got to be precise, but again, it's a 472, so you can't really be messing around too much. Lighthouse in the background, safe right, trouble left. Jordan Spieth's made a couple of miraculous efforts there. Matt Kuchar, I think I remember making a bunker shot on 18 there, missing it. Obviously, not the biggest hitter, Matt Kuchar, but he made a bunker shot on 18 there the one time. Just that sort of Southern Californian crocodile infested water all around it. Like it's just a quality hole. As I said, lighthouse in the background. How many more times do I have to mention the lighthouse? But it had to go in, and it had to be my last pick. And so with that, our 9-hole draft comes to an end. What we'll do is we'll put these 9-hole drafts on social media. We might get a bit of voting from you guys to see what you think is the best 9 holes. How do you feel about your drafting summary?
Yeah, it'd be cool to do it again maybe next year, at the end of the year, because I'd like to do a bit more research in some courses, and maybe if I've played a few more by then. But no, I'm happy. My 9 are definitely harder than your 9, which doesn't mean it's better. Probably means it's worse. But yeah, my 9's a tough 9.
Yeah, I think that's the easy thing, isn't it? Is you can get so caught up in like, oh, it's a great hole because it's a tough hole. But I love the
Mm.
element of you wanna go for it, but you see it bites so many people. Your 15th at Augusta, um, you're looking at the 8th at Troon, for example, and those are ones in there. 15th at PGA, those are ones where you look at it on the scorecard and you think, oh, 1, 2, 3, par 3 down the hill, sound happy days. All of a sudden you get there, it's a nightmare. 3, 6, 1, par 4, all of a sudden you get there, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Those are difficult holes and to sort of navigate. So I think that element of risk and reward has to come into it. But not to say that yours were bad selections. I didn't disagree with many of yours. And let us know with your votes this week, who you think, which 9-hole course would you go and play, mine or Ben's, and we'll see who comes out on top. Okay then, nice little fun draft. We are now going to finish with you guys, okay, and we're going to make sure that you guys are included in the podcast. We always want to do this every week. We're going to be doing this, so if you like contributing to the podcast, we absolutely love it, and we need you guys honestly because some of the funniest moments of the podcast is us hearing about other people's golf experiences, what's gone on. And last week we opened up a question to you guys, and we actually gave our answers last week. We said, what are the 3 things that you hate to see or experience on the golf course that you hate the most? Ben gave a very passionate answer. I gave a less passionate answer, but still some things that really, really bugged me. And we've had a few really, really good responses. Ben, you looking forward to reading some of these responses?
I am very much so. My 3 were very, very passionate little things. So I'm expecting to see a range of different issues and frustrations to come out of our listeners. So
100%, 100%. Um, we are going to put you in charge of the award, the award for today, so to speak. Okay, we are going to, we are going to basically give you the chance to give the award for 3 most annoying things on the golf course. All right,
yeah,
this edition, and of course we can update this. Of course we can update this, but the criteria is this: if these 3 things happen to you in a round, what would annoy you the most? And I feel like you're a good candidate for giving out that award. Like, how
Yeah,
easily would you say you get annoyed on the golf course, Ben?
very easily. Not even on the course, on the sim in my own house. Very, very easy. Too easily. Too easily.
Yeah, temperamental guy, and that's why we've given him the sort of the privilege of having a calm, cool head here now and giving out the award. So, okay, then, as I said, thank you very much to everybody who's messaged in. We're gonna start with the shortest response by a listener, okay, and obviously we're gonna get Ben's reaction on there as well as mine. But we're gonna start with the shortest response to the question that we put out there, okay? And this listener said this. So this is your first entry for this competition.
Okay.
They said Astro, which I presume means fairway turf mats or temporary tee boxes, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Eastward Wind, and the surname of someone who they clearly don't have much of a fancy for, and we won't read out the surname, but clearly someone that they know, and obviously has some irritating tendencies about him, and I'm presuming it's a him. By the surname that I'm given here, but
Right.
AstroTurf, Eastward Wind, and a person that they know personally. It's going to be hard for us to judge that third one, but what do you think about those first two specifically?
Interesting. Yeah. Soft touches, these three. Eastward Wind. I mean, like I don't really get it. I get what you're saying, because I think of the course this person is playing on. I understand it, but yeah, Astro. We're playing golf, not football. I get the little black bits get in your shoe, but I don't know what course you've been playing to have AstroTurf on a golf course.
Yeah, I think it definitely would be irritating if you find out that you've got to hit it off Astro the whole way around. The little fairway turf mats are irritating. But yeah, like we're not playing on the 5G pitch here. We're playing on out on the golf course, and I haven't experienced that too much with the Astro. So
Ah,
God knows what sort of experience this player's been having. But yeah, there's first entry, very short to the point, and thank you very very much for your submission. We now get into a couple of longer submissions, okay, and this one comes with a bit of content in regards to it comes with a screenshot. It actually also comes, if I scroll down here now, I think it comes with with a video as well. So I will do my best to put the video that's been sent in by this listener on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, for those of you listening, apologies, but I'm going to do my best to bring this entry to life with my reading skills. Okay, so the next entry is quite a big one, so I hope you're holding tight for this one. Okay, um, first thing which I find so annoying, even though I've tried it myself, is when your friend is in the middle of the fairway and he tries to pull off a 50-yard slice with nothing in the way and never pulls it off, resulting in a severe pull OB left or an overslice into a group on the next fairway. So someone trying to pull off hero shots there is probably entry number one there. It's annoying that when you know they
yeah.
haven't got it in the locker. Okay, second thing is when you play with a fully beginner golfer, possibly the worst experience you can have, where you end up having to tell them just to pick the ball up so we don't hold up the group behind them.
Yeah.
Good entry again. And then the final thing that I hate is when you're stuck behind the slowest old men that think they rule the golf course, leaving you with a 5 hour round. It gets to the point where you're waiting that long that you either have to cut in front or just walk off the golf course.
That is awful. I couldn't agree more on that one. That is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what the video
What's the
video
most
looks
annoying out of
like.
those three for you?
Stuck behind. Played with some
Yeah, it's annoying,
golfers on
isn't
a weekly basis, but yeah,
it?
stuck behind some is hard. A hard graft, that is.
Yeah, that is a tough one. That is a tough one. I think everyone's big thing is slow play and how you navigate that on the golf course, what the people that you're
Mm.
navigating around are like. What sort of personalities are you dealing with? Because you can deal with some right helmets on the golf course, and Yeah, that's another thing that at least if this podcast can do anything politically in the game of golf, let's get less helmets on the golf
Yeah.
course. Just go out, enjoy your round. Okay, don't be trying to start fights with anybody. Don't be trying to interrogate anybody. Don't be trying to do anything like that. Just let everybody, as long as you're there and you're okay to be there, just stick in your lane. That's pretty much a big thing within the golfing community, and I'm sure everyone can probably agree with that. Um, final entry. We've got three nice entries here now. I'm going to let you decide in just a moment which you think is the most annoying three. Okay. And this one tickled me when I was reading it earlier, and I imagine it's going to tickle me again. Okay. So this listener very formally opens their email with "Hi again." So they're a previous contributor. Um, number one. Number one, biggest pet peeve on the golf course for me is when you're in a competitive round and marking a scorecard and a playing partner forgets for 9 holes, and then you have to go back and reel off 9 holes of score so they can catch up.
Yeah, totally agree. I've done that so many times with a certain individual.
Yeah, it's irritating. It's irritating to say the least. Okay, I thought that was a good one. Number two, next would have to be when you play with someone who needs the flag in from all distances to putt. Gets to the point where I'm putting with the flag in to save having to put it back in again.
That's me off in me even saying that. So, or she. So yeah, that is a take. The flag is a thick piece of wood in the hole. It's reducing the size of the hole. Take it out.
Honestly. Yeah, that obviously we've looked into the research that a couple of years ago since the rule was passed about hole in, hole out, flag in, flag out. Sorry, it's got to be flag out for me. It's got to be, and I think it's got to
Honestly,
be for a lot of people as well. Even Matt Fitzpatrick, who was a big sort of elite level player, who was a big sort of flag in guy, he's now flag out. Adam Scott, I don't know where he's at, but he was initially a very flag in biased player. I don't think they're putting with the flag in anymore, and I don't think anybody is. So that was just a ridiculous rule from the R&A and sort of whoever came up with that rule or cooked that rule. And then number three from this listener, um, when I'm playing well for a good few holes and maybe have a mid-range putt to keep it going, and a playing partner decides to tell me that I need this putt to keep it going, or similarly telling me what will happen to my score if I miss or hold the putt, like give it a rest, lad.
that the issue with that one is I think that's sort of what I do with these I play with sometimes. That's really harsh. With the one like just trying to pep talk him around the course, put him under like way more pressure than he is anyway. But yeah, that would be annoying if I was a crap golfer and someone was doing that to me. That would piss me off.
Yeah, I think that's like. Have you seen the Podrick Harrington clip where he's going like, "Don't talk to my golf ball"? Have you seen that recently?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
He's playing around with Dan Rappaport, who's like caddying
Yeah.
for him in some pro am or something like that, and it's like it's the whole thing of like just I have to be careful doing this myself because obviously when it's with my mates I don't really care, but like when I'm playing actually a competitive round and I feel the need to have to talk to someone else's golf ball or like contribute to their round, when obviously you can get the vibe pretty quickly. If they're an outward going player, you probably think, oh, I've got the green light to do that, but then if they're very shut off and quiet, you want to give them the encouraging pep talk, but then at the same time, like you usually are being detrimental to that player in terms of just giving them more to think about. They probably don't know who you are. They probably don't know, what you find funny and
Mm,
what you think is acceptable and what you don't think is acceptable. And you end up just trying too hard. And then you get to the end of the day and you think, oh, I probably came across like a right helmet to that guy.
mm.
And so it's about knowing when to chip in with a comment, knowing when not to chip in with a comment. Everyone knows you don't need to be chipping, but yeah,
No,
it's one of those ones where um you've got to know, you've got to pick the time and the place.
absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree.
Anyway,
There's
anyway,
some good picks
we
there.
have got yeah, we got through some entries there, one shorter one and then a couple of longer ones there. Um, Ben, rating those three entries that we've got in there, what would you say if all three of those from the entries, if you can hopefully remember, um, which entry do you think would annoy you the most? And I'll just quickly rattle them off. So we had AstroTurf, we had Eastward Wind, which I think is a reference to the golf course that player plays regularly, and we had someone that they know on a, again, we can't really judge how they are, so to speak, because we don't know that person, but yeah, that's their entry. We've got marking the scorecard and forgetting. Okay, so your playing partner forgets your scorecard, flag into putt, and then you've got the comments mid-round. And then, let me get back to it here now, we have got someone trying to pull off the hero golf shot, someone taking too long, beginner player holding up the group behind, and then the group in front not letting you through. Usually the older folk who don't want to be doing that. Which of those three sets of three do you reckon would be the most annoying for you?
I think it would be the marking the scorecard, the flagging, and what was the third one in that batch? Sorry.
Marking scorecard, flagging, and then the comments about your round and
Yeah,
telling you that you need to make something.
the comments about the round would annoy me, but it would annoy me if I wasn't than I was at golf. Marking a scorecard does me off a lot, and my common playing partner does it every single time we play. And then the flagging. Some of the dons up at my home course, they are religious for the flagging, and it is a take. And you feel awkward then saying, "Look, I really want the flag out every time I have the part," and it's almost they're also getting off because they have to pull it out every time, and you're taking the. My own father, he loves a flag in sometimes, and you've got to keep encouraging these people. My father's a much better golfer than me. Get the flag out. Let's all putt with the flag out. Better chance of holding putt. It looks better. And I don't think you should count putts if there's a flag in, basically, unless you're chipping it in, because it's an absolute mistake.
Yeah, I would quite strong stance on the not counting it if the flag's in, but it would teach them. It would teach them. And
It would.
nothing wrong as well with the old tended pin. Like the tended pin,
Yeah.
we haven't seen it anymore as a result. Like it's a thing of the past, and we want it back.
Mm,
Like the long putt where the caddy's tending it or your playing partner's tending it and you drain that one. It's just an unbelievable feeling, and we're robbed of that now. So bring back
mm.
the tended pin, and the flag does not need to be in whilst you're putting. I'm massively in agreement with that. So I think we can both settle on the winning entry, which was the last one that we read off. Forgetting to do your scorecard. Um, we had forgetting to do your scorecard. We had flagging to putt, and we had making comments during the round about how important a putt is or isn't. And I think those are three really annoying things, which is completely fair. So that is it for today's podcast. Thank you very, very much for listening. Again, Ben, another podcast in the books. How you feeling about the podcast getting done and dusted? Good entries there from sort of the listeners. And yeah, another one in the books. Looking forward to this next week.
Absolutely. Another great week of podcasts, another great week of golf. The golf's going to get better and better as the year goes on. We like hearing your picks. We like hearing the listeners' picks for these things. Please keep answering our questions. Obviously, this week is please give us your best 9 holes. Give us your ultimate 9, and we will sit here and imagine that we're playing it and how much we would enjoy it. So we look forward to that next week.
100%, 100%. Yeah, get your entries in. We'll put that on social media this week. We want your best 9-hole golf course made up of any holes in the world. They don't have to be different to ours. You can include the same ones as ours if you want. Obviously, I know there's only a
Yeah.
select few amount of great holes in the world, so you can use those ones as well. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. If you are listening, thank you. If you're watching, this is something that I wanted to say today at the end of the podcast. But if you're watching this, send the link of the YouTube video to someone you know. Okay, let's grow the community because we want more entries into the stuff that we're talking about. Let's get hearing from more of you, no matter where you are. United States, any corner of the globe, really. If you like golf and you like talking about golf, you're in the right place because we're going to do it twice a week for the foreseeable future. But thank you very much. And we will catch you next week for a review of the ATT Pro-Am at Pebble Beach. and some other stuff as well, some other fun stuff as well. But we'll catch you next time. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.